And welcome to Between the Headlines. I'm Vuiswang Ngobongwana, and today we're continuing our review of events throughout 2008 with a focus on some of the accidents and natural disasters that have occurred. And joining me today are Noel Lynch, a Green Party member, and Ayo Johnson, the broadcaster. Storms that occurred in almost a year ago, actually, Noel. So personally, from your point of view, I think you might have some environmental concerns around this.
Yes, as we were saying, it's a year ago, and we're probably due it again, and it does happen nearly every year, but it does seem to be getting worse. And a lot of it, not all of it, is natural disasters. Don't blame God all the time for what was actually man-made.
How could they have avoided those floods a year ago? This was in Gloucestershire and the West Country in particular.
Yeah, I'm not so familiar with Gloucestershire, but I do know that a lot of building is on floodplains. Also, building in inappropriate places. The soak-up of the earth-like building, people might think it's silly, but building and paving over front gardens takes a lot of the soak-up of the water. So the water is running off faster, and the rivers and the riverbanks can't take it. So it's this is getting worse, and you know.
And hopefully it won't happen again. I mean, Ayo, I know it's almost a year ago. Do you have any memories of how the press was covering the British storms last January?
Yes, I do. I remember it was chaotic, very much so. Roads were closed off, trains were closed off, the tracks were flooded, a lot of people were stranded. I remember very clearly the police sending out the bulletin saying the motorways were closed off as well. And in some cases we even heard that streets were like little mini rivers. So it was very, very serious. And in fact so much so that a lot of people's homes were flooded. And as we know, insurance claims were problematic because the insurance companies did not want to pay out. And to cap it up, when you think about it, the storms themselves had a fatality where a British lady who was working for the police, her car was hit by a tree and she died, but thankfully her son, a little baby, survived. So it's got tragic moments in it altogether.
I mean, if it's a cyclical thing, as you're saying, Noel, and also the implications, the insurance implications would be nightmarish if insurance companies know this is something that's going to happen every year. How the heck do you get cover? How do you protect yourself? How do you, as someone living in that area where it's happening over and over again? And this article does say, you know, this one person is quoted here saying, oh God, it's happening again, as they watched the flooding and couldn't get off get on the road because of the flooding. So what would you suggest, especially as a Green Party member? What kind of things would you like the government to put in place?
Well, what's often forgotten about is people like this man who was still living in a caravan when this happened because he'd been flooded out the previous year and he'd just got a new kitchen suite, and that was obviously destroyed. And you know, your heart goes out to these people. It's all right if you're rich and can move out, but if you can't move out, you're stuck there, and you won't get insurance from now on. In most of these floodplains, but you know, but we are still, the thing is, we haven't learned. We're still building on floodplains, and there's quite a lot going to be built in East London that is actually on floodplains.
You know what? It's a grim subject, and we wait with bated breath and crossed fingers that nothing happens like that again. And from water, let's move on to fire. And we're still in England, and it's the Camden Market, which was hit by a disastrous blaze in February of 2008. Some incredibly dramatic news coverage around that time, wasn't there, Ayo?
Absolutely. Camden, notorious around the world for its famous paintings, designer clothing, and of course this fire, which took hold, destroyed all of it. And I remember seeing a lot of people standing around, thousands of people who were there at the time, and I think there were some pubs which were very affluent among the celebs of the time, which were burnt down. So I think the police did a fantastic job. The fire engines were there on time, and they tackled the blaze within a very short period of time. But it was just the magnitude of it.
Of course,
you know, and the viciousness within the fire itself, intense burning at that time.
And what are your memories of it, Noel, at the time? Did you feel the press covered it well, not too sensationalist?
No, I think it was reasonably covered. I mean, you've only got to see the pictures to see it. It was awe-inspiring. I mean, I run a small charity shop in Archway Road, and you could see the glow and the thing from Camden, you know. But again, as I say, as being a small business person, my heart went out again to the all those stall holders. You know, stall holders don't make a fortune, so even one day's loss of income is bad. Several months' loss of income probably put a lot of them out of business, and these are the type of vibrant type of stalls that you need, and little businesses that you need to get to for an economy, and you know, whole.
Again, human error was implicated
human
in this.
Error, I don't think you can blame God again.
But there's that rule of thought that the Camden Market itself was old, ailing, and a lot of people who were very modern would have liked to have seen a more vibrant and more colourful market. And in fact, sad as it may sound that the market got burnt down, it provides an opportunity for new development to come up.
Right, exactly. There's always a positive, you know, like phoenix rising out of the ashes. Who knows? It'll still maintain its character and be more up to date. You disagree
totally? I think we lost a total heritage there. You know, when these old places, I mean, sometimes they are scruffy looking and ramshackle looking, but that they do have charm, whereas you replace it with antiseptic stainless steel type places with absolutely
But let's wait and see. Let's not assume, you know, you're very much in Prince Charles's camp here, aren't you? But let's not assume that they will not create something that's in tune with the character of the place. Let's move away from Britain now to the Madrid Air Disaster, which occurred last summer in August, killing almost 200 people it was in the end, but the headline we're looking at states a number of 153. From your perspective, Noel, do you remember hearing about this disaster? Again, human error again?
Vaguely. Again, there are so many disasters nowadays that you kind of, unless you're personally involved, then it doesn't hit you quite so much. But looking at the results of it and things, you can see, I mean, on this from FT here, we have that the company was cutting down on its workforce, and there was cost-cutting drives and all this, and the average age of the planes was 18 years of age. The one that went down actually was 15 years of age, and you know, on the results, it looked as if again, human error and decrepit maybe planes far beyond their sell-by date.
Sure. I mean, it's enough to make you nervous, even if you weren't nervous of flying, isn't it? To think, I mean, because when you book a flight, you don't check out the company history or how old their planes are or anything of that kind. But I found the article quite interesting in the amount of data that they gave about this particular company and what seemed to be recurring problems. But when you heard about this, how did you feel? Was there anything in particular that struck you at the time?
Well, yes. Apart from the victims who clearly lost their lives and the tragic nature in which it happened, and so soon after it literally taken off, you don't expect a plane to be break into 1,000 pieces when it's taken off. So it literally happened then. But what captured it for me was that here we had an airline, a Scandinavian airline, which was struggling, literally. Struggling with finances, struggling with competition, struggling with high oil prices, and to cap it up, you had a business which was 65% down in terms of its shareholding the year previously, and of course immediately after this disaster happened, they were a further 6% down. So we had an airline which was struggling from the start, and it would appear they will continue so.